with this later. Do please continue. The sound does come back. I'll try and edit it later when the video's finished live. But Jacob Steinberg, just when you thought that everything was finished and done and we could concentrate on the final, bang, there we go. And he's sacked again. How many times can a manager be sacked in one bleeding week? I thought, you know what? This can't be. It's got to be the same stories we were talking about yesterday. No, but Jacob Steinberg of The Guardian has said that a very close source, someone very close to Manchester United, well placed at the football club, has said that even if Erik ten Hag wins the FA Cup final, he is gone. Like, we've heard this so many times before. But for anyone who has been debating it the other day, saying that Di Marzio was wrong, saying that everyone was saying the other managers that we compiled last night and all of the other news, it's actually happening, innit? We've got to just say it's happening. And do you know what? Just as I sat down to start this video, I thought, you know, I'll just check my messages. Like, I had loads of messages. Adam, it's happening, it's happening, it's happening. I'm like, no, it's just the same old stories that we've had this week. I click onto my guy who gives me some information. And the private message was, Adam, something's happened today. I think the manager is done. And that's the one message that I've got there. And that pretty much, right next to it, I've got Jacob Steinberg's tweet. Erik ten Hag is finished at Manchester United. The FA Cup final will be Erik ten Hag's last game. Can we start talking right now about what this is? Can we start talking about the end of Ten Hag and what his time has been at Manchester United? Is that where we go with this now? Is this what we can start talking about? I mean, it's a sad, I mean, you know, like I was saying before, that this is just a manager's life. This is everything that a manager has to deal with at Manchester United. Managers come, managers go. It's all about getting the best. He's going into that final now, knowing that he's sacked. So, do you know what? In a way, let's just go for it. Balls out. Let's just go for it. Let's go and take Man City down. That's all we can say on this. We've talked about everything else, Ten Hag. We might as well talk about what this man can do on his last day as Manchester United manager. You know what? I'd be going into that changing room right now, and I'd just be going like that. Hey, Marcus, there you go. There's one for you. There's an eye poke for you. Anthony, you slapped ass. Go sit back down. You're not playing either. Do you know what? What I think's actually happened? Because I was told that it was a big kick-off at the training ground yesterday, as I alluded to you guys before, with someone storming off and the so-called penciled-in team that could actually be starting against Manchester City in the final. As someone stormed off the pitch, it would be an Anthony. Like, honestly, I just think Ten Hag's gone on the pitch and gone, you know what? Sod this. I'm just going to pick whoever I want, and you can all just stick it. There you go. Perky says, players win, manager loses again. We've been over that many a times. We knew Ten Hag was going. I just think because it's come out at this stage now and we're talking about this again, that it's made no difference, really. We knew that Ten Hag was going. We know the players are going. We know loads of them are Oskies. Ineos are not going to do any more contracts. But with Ten Hag going into the final, I think he's just got a free hit now. Just go for it, Eric. Just go out there. Play what team you want and don't even worry about anything else which is going on. You know what? Just go out, blast it, let it all loose, and let's see what happens. You might as well just go and have fun with it. At least he'll get a farewell. At least he'll get a sending off. Shame it wasn't at Old Trafford. Shame that they made him do all of the speeches and everything like that beforehand. But really, that is Manchester United for you, isn't it? It is. They should have sacked him earlier on this year. They should have got this out of the way so we didn't have this palaver. He should have gone after the Crystal Palace game. That's what should have happened. Some say he should have gone after the Champions League fallout. Some say he should have gone when it mathematically wasn't possible to make the Champions League. Why do we have to cling on to managers just to see what happens in an FA Cup final? Like, you're in charge of the club. The manager is just another... He's another asset, isn't he, basically? He's just an employee of the football club. You decide whether or not that you want to keep that manager in, no matter what time of the season it is and what you've got to play for and what games are coming up. You should have just done this months ago. You knew what was happening. You knew that the media was going to leak everything out before the final. You knew what this week was all about, and you just dragged it on. This is one bad... I'd say it was... I mean, I have been saying like Ineos need to have made their mind up. They need to know what they want to do. But at the same time, you know what the media's like in England. You know that they're going to get to the bottom of it eventually. I mean, as soon as Manchester United snuck Omar Barada through the door and pissed all of the media off because no one knew about it, they've been all over United from that moment. And I think going forward, this is what Ineos are going to try and do, but I think they're finding out very quick that they cannot hide things away from the media. The media will find out about everything going on at Manchester United. While you've got the unrest, while you've got everything going on, and I'll tell you something, like what we was told yesterday about that fallout on the training ground because of a possible player not playing or being picked in the side for the final, something's happened from that moment, and it's kicked off from there. I think the player, whoever the player is, some of the players who are not playing or something like that, have gone out, leaked out the information, because the players probably would have known that the manager's going. The agents would have told them, because agents will know probably a lot before a lot of any players will, or what anyone else will in the world's media. They will know a lot of what's going on at football clubs because they have to protect their clients and they need to know what's happening around the world. And Ten Hag's got the same agent as what Anthony has, as what Højlund has. If Anthony's found out that he's not in the team, he could have easily kicked off. Now, I'm not throwing Anthony under the bus, but I'm just making an example of what probably would happen at Man United and how this has come out. Anthony gets taken out of the team for the final. He spits his dummy out. He storms off the training ground like we've been told, and then leaks out. Everyone knows. A well-placed source at Manchester United has confirmed that even an FA Cup final win against Manchester City is not enough to keep Erik ten Hag in his job. Coincidence? I think not. So it should have really just calmed down today, and there should be no news. It should just be Manchester United talking about the final. And there is a final preview video coming up later on, guys. I've done it already, so when you watch it later on, bear in mind I didn't know what news was coming, but it was pretty much just about the game and what Ten Hag can do in the game anyway, so it kind of fits in. But yeah, this is just an absolute... this is another shit show, really, for Manchester United. I suppose we can't really be surprised, can we? We knew this was going to happen. I'm just going to flick through social media now and just to see exactly what is going on. See if anyone else has spoken about it. We've got nothing from the man Romano yet, anyway. So that's one out of the way. But yeah, it is. It's all about... let me just read one here from the MEN that's just come out. And this is from United. The club sources have insisted they will not engage with speculation about the future of Erik ten Hag. Feels like we're 48 hours away from the inevitable and very reminiscent of 2016 with Louis van Gaal. Manchester United still insist that no decision has been made on Erik ten Hag's future, and the full review will happen after the FA Cup final. And then underneath that was the Steinberg news, which was a well-placed source said that even winning the FA Cup would not save Erik ten Hag. Erik ten Hag has gone. Then my man tells me something happened today. I think the manager is done. Simple as. Erik ten Hag will be let go after the FA Cup semi-final. There's nothing else we can really say, talk or do. Ten Hag is trending. Ineos are trending. For some reason Giggs is trending, but I don't know what that's all about. Giggs, give it Giggsy till the end of the season. I don't... But no, it is. And what Stephen Railsford said there, it does have a very similar feeling to 2016 and Louis van Gaal. Louis van Gaal's with army. It looks like the end of the road. Another Dutch manager being let go after hopefully winning the FA Cup. He's got a free hit now. Imagine going into that final, though. Like, Louis didn't know, I don't think. I'm pretty certain he wouldn't have known, because that was just like a shock to everybody. But Ten Hag's going into this final against City now knowing that he's no longer Manchester United manager. So he, like I said before, I think he needs to look at this game and say, look, even for my own career, I could go out here. I may have been sacked by Manchester United, but I've won 2 trophies in 2 seasons. And that for him will get him another job. I actually think that no matter what Ten Hag has said and what's been leaked out about what Ten Hag has said about talking to nobody else, I do believe that that Ten Hag has actually got another job lined up. I do. I feel like it will be in a different country. It will be over in Germany. It's obviously not going to be Bayern Munich, but there are other clubs we knew from a while ago. A couple of other clubs that were interested in Erik Ten Hag. So looking at that, I feel like we're just 1 game away, like it says. It is all done. It is all done. Let's get into some of your comments on what you're saying. Poch or Tuchel, who do you think is going to be the manager? I think it's Tuchel. I think it's Tuchel as well. There is a big clamour for Pochettino, but I just think Tuchel is the better manager. And again, I think Pochettino is going to miss out to someone else. He's never going to get that United job, Pochettino. He's not. Adam, nobody should feel bad about it. Look at the results, the performances. The hard facts are he took us backwards. He never looked up to the job. For me, let's crack on with the rebuild. Do you know what? Sometimes, Ted Stan, you have to look at it that way. We were talking about that on the hard front before and how I am and how I treat everything and how I react to everything. I'm more of a results man. It's all about what happens on the pitch. And you cannot ignore our worst ever Premier League season. That is ultimately what's got Ten Hag the sack. Ineos were all too willing to work with him. But you had to prove it in the back end of that season. And he's not done it. He's not done it. And this is why it's the end of Erik Ten Hag. He is going to be sacked by United after the FA Cup game because of Manchester United's worst ever Premier League season. They're the facts. They're the hard facts. What matters on the pitch is everything when it comes to Manchester United. All I'm going to say is Erik Ten Hag should have been sacked 3 months ago when they knew they were looking and talking to other managers, because it was happening. I just don't understand why this club is so soft when it comes to letting managers go like this. They shouldn't let it just prolong. Do you know what? If anything, the right move would have been to sack Ten Hag with a couple of months to go before the end of the season. Let this manager come in, whoever it is, or you know what? It would have probably been an interim. Saying that, I'm kind of like scuppering myself here with this one a little bit. It would have been ideal if we had the manager in, because he could have looked at the players for 2 months and then known going into the summer who was worth keeping. But it probably never would have happened because no one that's available now was available then. So stupid Adam, forget I even mentioned that. But at least with an interim, we would have seen at least that these players were up for it or not. Were they bothered? Well, there was still something to play for. Under Ten Hag, we just prolonged it and prolonged it and prolonged it, and it's just in the end, it's just petered out into absolute nothing, and he's gone. And rightfully gone after that performance this season. I'm sorry, it's hard facts. They are poor results, and Ten Hag has blown it. Sacking the manager before the players, I seriously hate these owners, I swear. Again, I'll go back to it. Ineos have got nothing to do with what's happening. We can judge Ineos with what players they let go. They were always going to let go of the manager. They were always going to start afresh from this point and move forward. So let's judge Ineos from what they do this summer. I think they have got a lot of work to do with the players, but I don't think necessarily we can go in on Ineos on this one. They have come in, they've spent their money, they've taken power away from the Glazers in some aspect, and they are going to be doing things their way. And that means getting rid of the manager. We spoke about it earlier on. They have to look from this point going forward. Everyone else has been changed. I think realistically, even people who thought that Ten Hag might stay had that feeling in the back of their minds that he was going to get sacked anyway. So, yeah, there's no surprise in it. It's probably surprising that a story keeps coming up every bleeding day leading up to the final. But, well, the media have got nothing to do all week. There are stories to be made, and this is headline news. Manchester United, on the eve of the FA Cup final, officially have got no manager apart from what Ten Hag is going to play out tomorrow in the FA Cup. Like, he's going to be sacked. So who's it going to be? I think that's the next question now. Who is Manchester United's next manager going to be? I mean, we're open, guys. Who's it going to be? Should we do a poll? I don't know. I'm sick of polls. I'm just going to get your comments in the comment section, guys. Who is Manchester United's next manager? Just put the name in the chat. Let me know what you think. How are we supposed to become good if we keep sacking managers and keeping these players? The players are not going to stay, Jordan. That's the difference. They're not going to stay. Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Martial, all of these players, Brandon Williams, they're all out this summer, followed by the likes of Maguire next summer. The one that I want to stamp down on is Marcus Rashford. Have they got the balls to move this man on? Because if anything within this audit that Ineos have done, they would have seen there was a problem, a big problem around one player. And it's been clear all season, when the chips are down, this man has just not been asked. And it's all right getting rid of a manager, but you have to back it up with what the other issues were at the football club. And the other issues are some big name players. Honestly, right now, I've said it before, I expected Ten Hag to go. I've been saying all along, I think he will go. He's not done enough this season to convince me he's the right manager. When it comes to the players, Shaw, see you later for me. Rashford, see you later for me. I'm not bothered. Like McTominay, if he wants to stay as a squad player and coming off the bench every now and then, that's fine, on cheap wages, which is probably what he's going to be offered. He's on peanuts anyway compared to everyone else. Not really bothered unless the club want to make money. He can be a bench player at best, impact player. Maguire's going next year, worst case scenario. He might even be sold this year. Evans, Lindelof, Varane, Martial, Brandon Williams, Tom Heaton, all gone this summer. This is what's going to happen. And if it doesn't, then Ineos are in for some shit. They are going to get it double barrel from this fan base, and that would not go down well. And it would be a horrible start for them. If they lose the fans within the first year of this so-called taking United back to the top, they are up against it. And the Glazers will be sat there rubbing their hands together, going, oh, well, at least we got our money in anyway. That's all it is. Tuchel or Emery for me, but I take Poch over 10 fraud. Tuchel, definitely. Emery, never in a million years. Jose is unfinished business, and Ratcliffe likes the guy and willing to be head coach with structure in place. Someone else said Jose before. I'm not even going to go down that, but like everyone's going to be tuned in next week, aren't they, to find out who the Man United manager is going to be. I mean, The Guardian and Jamie Jackson was saying that they're not going to make a decision soon after the FA Cup final. It could go on, but that cannot happen. Manchester United have got big plans. Manchester United have got a very busy summer, Euros, pre-season tour. Like, we need to be ready to go. And waiting around for a new manager to come in these crucial weeks after the season's finished before the Euros is not ideal. Them Euros are right in the way. We know what it's like when international tournaments are on. We know how bad it is. So, looking at the situation as it is, Ten Hag needs to be told, he's been told, but it needs to be made official, and Manchester United need a new manager in next bleeding week. We cannot wait any longer. It has to happen and happen quick. Adam, how do you know Ineos will get rid of the players? They are a Glazer puppets. Glazer's still here, remember? Because they're not offering contracts, mate. When you look at a situation that first time in a century, since a mid-season contract renewal has not happened, when you look at Bruno Fernandes coming out talking like he is now because he's not got a new deal on the table, Maguire's not got one, McTominay's not got one, everyone who has ran out of contract is leaving, they're not jumping the gun or extending or doing anything, it's quite clear. Heaton, Williams, Martial, Evans, Varane, Wan-Bissaka, Victor Lindelof, first team players on big money out of the door. That, to me, tells me that the things are going to change. That's why I look at it that way. Super chat we have here from Yeflo. Thank you, mate. It says, congrats, Adam. You got what you wanted. Hopefully this was the right move. I'm tired of the same cycle. To be honest, mate, I got what I thought was right for me and this football club. Ten Hag was not doing enough to prove that that he was Manchester United. Like, you know what? With everything happening right now, Ten Hag will probably go out tomorrow and win the FA Cup. And it'll give someone to argue back. He'll get the right sending off, won't he? Anyway, can you imagine if the media got all this wrong and Ten Hag actually wins the FA Cup and stays? Oh, God. I tell you what, there's one way of taking focus off the final. It's telling everyone that the manager's gone in the media the week before. Only at United, this is how we do things around here. This is how we roll. They've spoken to multiple manager and agents last week. Yes, they have. As if Ineos are going to tell Ten Hag he's sacked before the FA Cup final. He'll know, Lollipop. Trust me, he will know. Moyes is available. Erik Ten Hag must stay. There is no better. There is, Loz. There clearly is. I think that's a bit of an insult on the other managers considering how bad Ten Hag has been this season. So Rat and the head of cycling need to be ruthless. Get this done by Sunday, or they are just the same as the Glazers bankers. I give them a little bit longer before I sort of tarnish them with the same brush. I feel bad for Ten Hag if he ends up to be true, going to start another project. It does look that way. Thomas Franks and his 30% of football incoming. Go get him, Frank. You can't do nothing when you keep stacking managers. We're just another Chelsea now. No idea, no plan. Like, when did everyone have this vision in their head that Manchester United weren't a sacking club? Like, all we've done since Sir Alex Ferguson, the greatest manager that there ever was, is sack managers. We are this club. Accept it. That's what we are. Everyone who thinks that Manchester United are different to every other club is crazy. Like, this is what we've done. Count the managers. We were talking about McKenna before. He's coached under bleeding 5 of the managers that have been at the football club. So, what does that tell you? We are a sacking club. This is what we have become because we have no stability. Stability comes in great managers. They are very, very rare. Look at everyone in the Premier League apart from the 2 that have been successful. They found gold because they had the structure and a manager which fitted together. Everybody else, like Arsenal, just catching up. And some will say Arteta was given time at Arsenal, but at least Arteta had a style of play. That's the difference. And if we want to compare ourselves to Arsenal, then we are not going to go anywhere. Our standards are rock bottom if that is the case. Erik Ten Hag to Barcelona. Good luck to the guy. Hansi Flick's already signed that job, mate. Kenneth. Most likely, Jason Wilcox along our board likely made this decision a while ago. Busy about finding the replacement. Flick loves Rashford, hopefully. Get him out of here. McLaren to step up tomorrow. No, Ten Hag, he's not going to be sacked before. No, I'm not even getting into that conversation. It's ludicrous anyway. But yeah, Ten Hag's last game is going to be the FA Cup final. That's all we need to know. I'm just getting into the rest of this news here now, seeing what everyone else has put. Let's just see if anything else has come out. Bear with me 1 second, guys. Everyone's bringing up the same stuff. Manchester United have decided to sack Erik Ten Hag after the FA Cup final. That's what's been doing. There is a concrete possibility that Manchester United and Erik Ten Hag part ways after the FA Cup final. United have started contacts with agents of managers to potentially replace Erik Ten Hag. Fabrizio Romano has now started adding concrete to his communications. Jim Ratcliffe's way of sacking the manager of Manchester United is worse than the Glazers. Disrespectful. Well, again, like, nobody would have known, but the media have found out. So it's not really Sir Jim Ratcliffe, is it? He would have made this decision hoping that it could have been done professionally. It's not been done any other way. It's not been done any other way than it would have done before. And that's a definite. This is just happening. The fact that people know about it is the difference and why it looks so bad. So, again, I'm just going to defend Ineos on the way that they've dealt with this. They've dealt with this the way that an ownership should. they've looked around and made sure that there is a replacement there if they do let him go. Everybody is always going to look around for replacements and look for other things. Like, we could have a manager that leaves Manchester United or another club, and the ownership do have to have a plan B. The fact that Man United have got a plan B past Ten Hag is a good thing. At least we know that the ownership model knows exactly what they're doing. And it's up to them. It's not up to us. Like, we just got an opinion on it. Like I've said all along, I don't think Man United's football has been good enough for Ten Hag to stay on. I think it's been shit. We've been there game after game after game. There's no plan at all. So I look at it and I'll say, look, Manchester United, I'll look at it, we're in an FA Cup final. Well, no, we've earned our way to the FA Cup final, sorry. But we're lucky we've got this game to maybe salvage something and get back in Europe. Because that embarrassment of a Premier League season is enough to sack any manager of any club that's in the top four in the Premier League, let alone one of the greatest clubs of all time. It's ridiculous how people think that that is okay, and sacking a manager is the wrong way to go because that's what's gone wrong before. Well, what happened before is irrelevant because it was under different ownership and a different structure. What happens from this point forward is where we start rejudging everything again. We have to try and forget what's happened. I know it's difficult because we've been through some shit. I understand everyone's anger. I understand everyone's disappointment in the way this has come about again. And you know what? We all felt a bit bad for Louis van Gaal when that happened. And it's coming around again. It's so weird how this happens with Manchester United. And it so happens to be another Dutch manager and possibly winning an FA Cup. Honestly, it's hard to say. I cannot wait to see Man United lifting that FA Cup against City tomorrow. But in a weird way, the best thing that can happen is United not win that FA Cup. Can you imagine? Oh, God, I can't believe I'm even saying that. Through all of this bollocks that's going on and the media leaks that have come out, do you know what? I just want Eric to go and win that trophy, lift it up in the air and say, well, do you know what? At least I got 2 trophies. Do anything for him. Do you know what? We could actually use that then and have a little bit of banter finally. I know it's wrong in saying that, and it's probably not in good taste, but we could just say, look, we beat you to the FA Cup, to the City fans, having had a manager that's already been sacked in charge. But yeah, no, it's just taking the focus completely off the final. They love it, don't they, the media? First, that's what it is. That's what it's all about. It's all about who gets there first with the media, and it always will be. Get your comments in on the managers, guys. Like, look, we can talk about Ten Hag all we want, but we know he's going to be going. So let's talk about what's going to happen from here. Who he's coming in. Give me your arguments for and against. Get your managers in the comment section right now, guys. I agree with you there, Adam, mate. This season has been a calamity. Everyone's contributed to this season, but there's only one person that's going to take the hit. It always is with every football club. It's not just United. It's the manager. Eyes wide open. As much as I wanted him to go, more time there is getting away from the fact that we literally have played the worst football I've ever seen this season. You need to just remember. Congrats, Adam. Your prayers have been answered. Just so you know, not all of us wanted Eric Ten Hag to go. I completely know that already. I don't know why you're telling me that, mate. And it wasn't my prayers at all. I just said, I think if United can see better out there, we should go and get better. That's what this club should always do. And if you think Ten Hag football was good, then that's okay. That's good for you, but not for me. I'll just give you my opinion like you are giving it back. And like I said, this show is about everyone giving their opinion. So if you don't agree with me, let's have it out. Let's talk about it. Let's go. Eric Ten Hag out. Don't like the leak, though, but I'm glad Ineos showed they have standards. Feel bad. 10 million reasons he should feel okay, says Andrew. We need to get rid of some of the players as well. We will do, Danish. That will happen as well. Jose, lots of bets on him being Chelsea manager, 40-1 to 2-1. Expect Man United to urgently interview him for the job. I don't think Ineos would go with Jose. Oh, no, we can't bring Jose back, can we? I tell you what, Jose's better than Ten Hag. I'd rather take Ralph Rangnick than any of the candidates. I said before, I mean, I've got no problem with Ralph Rangnick coming back in. I would love Ralph to come back. I'm just starting to wonder if there are people on the blue side of Manchester pushing out some of these leaks and rumours to intentionally distract the players, coach and fans ahead of the final. I don't think it even matters, Ivan, honestly. And this, if anything, it just adds the uncertainty to it. Now, Adam, we can't have the host of the channel giving his opinion. No, Louise, you can't. Jose's a great manager. Frank, likeable, can joke with the media as well and tell them off. A people's person that can gather people around. I have both a listener and a team oriented trainer. Team-oriented trainer. Knows Premier League. Make team play accountable. Make team players play accountable, and whom you meet. That was complicated, that one there, but I got the gist of what you were saying. I'm missing something. 14 losses, 8th in the league, minus goal difference. Exactly. If it is McKenna, then apparently the players didn't like him when he was coach there, so there's no way they're going to listen to him if he's their manager. How far back are we going with these players? That's what I want to know. How far back do we have to go with these players? Like when McKenna was there, who was at the football club then? We're talking the old guard, aren't we? Like really old guard. Rashford, Martial, Luke Shaw. Players like this. And I think ultimately, like, the players that Manchester United need to get rid of is what Ineos are going to be judged on. I feel like the manager, I think, was an easy one for him. As much as we're making a meal out of it now and everyone's having an opinion saying how bad it is, I think Ineos are going to be judged on the players that leave. That's their issue. That's their problem that they're going to have to deal with. And until them players are out, we are not going to get a true reading of Ineos. It's going to take a few years. If you want to start judging them now straight away, then go for it. You'll end up digging yourself a grave, honestly. Like, let them get in, let them get their system in place and let it run for a few years. We're going to need patience with this. But over the next 2 years, I will say, and I won't let up on them about the players that have to be out of this football club. And I'm with people on that as a worry for Ineos. Like, they will be judged on what players leave. Like Yvonne says there, player power has won again. Thanks for renewing the membership as well. But yeah, it feels like that. But let's just see what Ineos do first and then go in on them. Jim Ratcliffe is a puppet for the Glazers. No, he's not. Disagree on that one. Anita, everyone's working for Ineos, but so far they are serial losers in sports. Not completely. Let's not go completely in on them. They have done a lot of good, and there have been some innovating projects that they have done as well. But the one good thing that they are doing of United is bringing in people that know football. We cannot forget that. We cannot forget what they have put in place here now for the future of this football club. And hopefully they can make this work. Like, we need to give them time. We need to give them the chance. If we sell a heap of players, including Rashford, nobody will even remember Ten Hag, I don't think. No, they won't. They won't, Louise. It's a good point. I don't think Rashford is going to go. I've just got that feeling he's going to end up sticking around for at least another season because of everything else that needs doing first. But do you know what? To appease the fans and make a statement, that would be huge. Getting rid of Marcus Rashford would be absolutely massive. Absolutely massive. And if they did do it, then there would be a lot of people turning their heads that had doubts over Ineos. Deserve it and promote the youth, says Darren Adams on the payroll. Shame. Payroll of what, Holly? I have no idea what you're talking about. You've got to give more context to complete abusive comments like that. Come on. We don't kick people out here for giving their comments, but you do need to come back with something stronger. I'm going to just I'm going to just give my head a wobble. This guy is the worst than Ole. He was terrible. Let's see what happens as windows open. I still hope and think a larger player clear out will happen as well. That's it, Mike. Just because the manager's gone doesn't mean Ineos are not going to get to work in other departments. They're here for the long haul. They want to take Manchester United back. They need to change a lot. They have changed an awful lot already. If we can get Dan Ashworth in pretty soon and everything just go forward from there, then we can start making moves. We can start moving forward with what we need to do with this squad. If there are two managers I can think of who would have the balls to remove the players we want to get rid of, it's Mourinho and Ranić. Two managers that have been there and seen it and know exactly what's needed and actually were let go for calling out the football club. I get where you're coming from completely with that. Common sense, he says, I want De Zerbi, love his style of play. He's ruthless manager that sticks to his style of play and showed he's willing to bench the star players in this club. Yes, Gray, you caught another show. Well done, mate. Tonight's press conference are horrendous. Yes, they are. But he's glad he's got that one out of the way now. One more to do. One more for poor old Ten Hag. New manager gives players a chance, not necessarily with a new structure because they're not in charge, the managers of the players anymore and what comes in. That's the difference. You won't see players who need to move on actually going. Same old cycle. Not completely disagree with it, mate. Again, it's not going to be that. It's not going to be that. It's, what's her name? It's all about the structure. It's all about what they bring in, what they take out, and then let the manager coach. It's a head coach role at Manchester United, essentially, now. That's what it is. It's more like for me now with the players, a case of they know where they stand. Ineos have spoken to the players individually. They know they're not going to get these new bumper deals, and they're going to have to start looking elsewhere. Like Manchester United won't be going out buying the oldest type of players. They'll be looking at bringing in younger players, younger profile players that we can build a future with for this football club. That's where the direction is going to go with Ineos right now. Hard to guess, sarcasm, Gray. Cheers, mate. Egomaniac, that guy. I think I know who you're talking about. I don't like the gaslighting, saying it's the same cycle when we haven't seen that what Ineos will do yet. Give them a chance. Exactly that. That's the common sense. That's common sense is common sense sentence, essentially. He's been sacked, Boxing Straight Talk. He's been sacked again for the second time this week, mate. Anyone who is just joining us, the news that came out today, a bit of a bombshell one, again, out of the blue. But, yeah, Jacob Steinberg of The Times has said that a source close within Manchester United has said that even winning the FA Cup final is not enough for Ten Hag. A few more people have now moved in on this one. Fabrizio Romano on his YouTube channel has said there is concrete, in capital, possibility that Erik Ten Hag will part ways with United after the FA Cup final. Everyone is just getting closer and closer and bolder in the statements that they make within the media about what's going to happen to Ten Hag. The inevitable is coming. We knew it was coming. So we just have to accept it now and start looking ahead as United fans as to what Ineos can do. Do you want to give Ineos a chance? Some people are already writing them off for what's happened in the way that this has gone about. So I don't know. I don't know where you want to go with it. But hey, what's done is done. We'll find out more as the day goes on. But I really just wanted to concentrate on talking about the FA Cup final. I've got a show going out at 6:30 on that. A proper look just at football. I promise nothing else. It's already good to go and set. I just didn't expect to be back in the hot seat again today talking about Ten Hag being sacked. I thought we'd seen enough of that already this week, but more and more people want their piece of the pie, I think, and they need some more columns and some more clicks as being the first to announce this bit of news. It started with Damasio, We've had people talking about who United have been speaking to manager-wise, from Sky to The Athletic to ESPN, and now the Times and Jacob Steinberg has confirmed again that Ten Hag will be sacked after the FA Cup final. Do you know what I think we need? We just need the FA Cup final. We just need this game to come and go, and let's just put this officially to bed so we can all start talking about what is going on and what's happening with United going forward, who the manager's going to be, and everything like that. Oh, if Fabrizio is on board, he's done, isn't he? Well, Fabrizio has just gradually got bolder and bolder, like I said, with his comments. And again, another one there saying concrete possibility that Ten Hag is gone after the FA Cup final. I think he's still covering himself a little bit, but he's getting braver in what he's saying, if you know what I mean. But yeah, guys, we're going to wrap it up there. That is the news that has just broke. Ten Hag is sacked again. More sources coming out, this time from the Times. Jacob Steinberg confirming that after the FA Cup final, Ten Hag will leave Manchester United. Ineos are letting him go, and the process of bringing in the new manager starts straight after the bank holiday weekend. Hopefully it gets rectified quickly. Hopefully it gets all sorted very, very quickly, and we can move forward with this and know who's going to be in that hot seat come next season. Guys, really appreciate you jumping back in again. Another extra video. There's loads coming out. I think this is just how our days are going to be right now. Hopefully there's no news tomorrow. For God's sake, we've got a football match to play. But that's it for now, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Really appreciate you all jumping in again. I will see you all later on. There is another video out at 6:30 tonight looking ahead to the FA Cup, guys. Make sure you tune into that one as well. Please hit that subscribe button if you like your news straight to the point with no fluff or bull. I'm just going to tell you. That's it. We're not going to sugarcoat it. We're just going to tell it you straight. And that is that. Thank you very much, everybody. I will see you all later on. Have a great rest of your day.